Never say that word. That's such a difficult word to say at the caves, and this has been made over many different years, and some of the reports have included sounds of metal clanging in the distance, and many reported sightings of an old miner and the sound of footsteps and pickaxes working. So it's a little bit of history with a mystery there. But the caves were used as the interior for the Sycorax spaceship in Doctor Who Christmas special, The Christmas Invasion in 2005. But you should see signs for the Clearwell Caves. That'll be over towards our left-hand side, and then we're going to cross over to the right across the river. Bridge, and it was built across the River Wye in 1827 as part of a new road connecting Chepstow and Monmouth. And on the other side you've got a little derelict toll house lying on the Welsh side of the bridge. And of course you can see it's noted for its single span arch, an iron arch nearly 50 metres in length, and that was cast in Merthyr Tydfil, and it's now a Grade 2 listed structure. This is actually the lowest point on the river that's unaffected by tidal flow. In other words, below this point, the height of the River Wye can be affected by high and low tides.
This is a weak bridge. This is a weak bridge.
It's going to go like that. 18 tons.
This is it.
Can you swim?
Offers direct pattern there.
What's that mean?
It's directions, you must know where you're going.
Oh, does what? One's there now, is it?
So here's a little abandoned toll house just over on the right hand side of the coach.
It's a toll house.
So you can see how beautiful and peaceful the Wye Valley is now, and it was actually, so the passing Wye tourists loved to see the thick smoke thrown up from the iron forges, as they thought this added a lot of grandeur to the scene. So in the 17th century, Tintern was actually an industrial village where hundreds of people were employed, and the village's metal industries were at the cutting edge for more than 300 years. The Company of Mineral and Battery Works was set up in 1566, and they were given a monopoly to produce wire, which was a highly valuable commodity. And this was set up at Angedy, a little gurgling brook that runs into the Wye at Tintern. Now they needed European expertise. Skilled workers were bought from Germany, and they were known locally as strangers, and actually took 5 years to train up the local men to perfect the art of wire drawing. And before long, Tintern men were drawing great lengths of wire from 1-inch cubes of iron. So by 1600, the wire works were the largest industrial enterprise in Wales, and large quantities of wire were sent to workers in Bristol, who then made knitting needles, fishing hooks, bird cages and buckles. And of course, during that time, wire was also fashionable, and it was used in Elizabethan clothing, and also used for the production of carding combs for the woolen industry, of course wool being Britain's main export at that particular time. So if you were a wire worker, you became part of the local elite. You were very highly honoured. They enjoyed voting rights, tax concessions, and even sick pay and pensions at that particular time in history when that was unheard of. They also were provided with a priest and a school teacher funded by the company, who also supplied ale and tobacco at the annual Wireworks feast. Now the wireworks continued until the late 19th century, and local tradition has it that Angedy wire was actually used in the first transatlantic telegraph cable. But again, when you get to Tintern, just have a look and see at the actual size of the little village and the area. You wouldn't believe that 500 men used to work here and down at the bottom of the valley. So peaceful and quiet nowadays, isn't it? Totally different picture though in the 17th century. But we've lost out on the bluebells, and I think if you keep your eyes open, the rhododendrons have come into bloom now, haven't they? They're absolutely magnificent at the moment.
Is that a forest of Tintern?
I think it is.
Which is where you'll see the Abbey. So that'll be coming into view very, very shortly, just up ahead and on the left-hand side. There it is, it's just poking out from behind the trees now. Of course, Tintern Abbey itself is an 11th century Cistercian abbey, and it has to be one of the most beautifully situated ruins in the British Isles. As I said, most of the exterior, as you can see, is still here, but there's no roof and the ground is actually covered in grass. Okay, so we're just going to park round the back of the Abbey, and you'll be able to see the little gift shop and entrance into the Abbey just ahead. And I'll just point out the toilets to you. So I mentioned we can do some drinks on the coach if you would like, or there's a little pub just coming up, the Anchor Inn, just over on the left hand side, just ahead of the coach there. So the river's just here as well, so you can just have a little walk down there and take a few photographs. So I think if we stay till about 4 o'clock here, so just until 4 o'clock, just to allow you to have a little look round, stretch your legs, also a toilet stop for you. So the toilets are just to the left-hand side of this little cream and green building that you can see just ahead of the coach at the moment. So just go around the side. There are a few steps up inside the toilets. Well, there are in the ladies, I don't know about the gents.
Where's you got to go to anyway? All the way up there. Walk round, won't you? Surely you can walk down there, can't you?
Yeah.
Don't get in there.
Look at it, is that the front door?
Strange, it's actually really.
I think it'd fall down, wouldn't it, at the top? Could you think that would fall down in the storm, that?
It could if it struck by lightning. There's a bird right up there on the top. What kind of bird is that?
Yeah, I can't even see it.
Like walking on the top now.
Top of where?
Bloody building.
Which top? There's like the top everywhere.
There.
Oh, up along the edge, you mean?
Yeah, along the edge. There's a bird it is.
It's gone there.
Green's there and the white net too. Middleton's coffee's on board. Their coat doesn't sound as a pattern. Written that, don't it? That might be from when the water came up on. Because it all looks muddy up that jetty, don't it? But the only place really is the pub. I don't even know if you can get sandwiches in there. It's a mill wheel, isn't it? It would be. Very nice here if it was raining, would it?
No. I bet this sort of trip is like if it's raining, it'd be a whole trip. It'd be horrible, wouldn't it, really?
I don't really know much about Tintern, Abbey, do you? It's fairly big, isn't
Did I make the windows out of something special tint?
Tintern is a name.
What was it? Glassmaker makers made it. Was it like Tintern? Was it? They made glass as well, didn't they? I think all here to get. And you mentioned copper as well.
Tin, yeah, they made tin and copper.
Yeah.
Oh, they made glass out of the copper, didn't they?
Yeah.
I suppose it'd be a nice place just to come and relax. I don't feel like $1957, that was the year I was born. I've got a ring made of pinchbeck and ring. And pinchbeck was a form of false gold. On the corner of Oliver Road years ago, when we lived in Somerset Road. And two men ran it, I think they were both gay. But I bought this pinchbeck ring for about £7. which is a lot of money, I suppose, then. But I've still got it, and it's all got like engraving and band, yeah. Pinchbeck it's called. And zinc. I like it though. I just liked it, so I've always kept it.
That man looks lost, doesn't he?
Oh, he does. I didn't even know it at all. I told him it was upstairs, and his wife went, "Ain't you been yet?"
I'll take us something for him.
I'm going to get on the coach. You'll have to have a drink on the coach.
Yeah. Where are you going?
On the zone.
We can go this way. What, go that way?
It's open.
Yeah?
This way. I don't know.
Oh, I've got that.
Yeah, it's like that.
Oh, that's a good look there. That one.
Glimpse of the Severn Bridge there. Of course, Chepstow is a town in Monmouthshire, adjoining the border with Gloucestershire, and it's located on the River Wye, 2 miles above its confluence with the River Severn, and also adjoining the western end of the Severn Bridge. And it's the easternmost settlement in the whole of Wales.
I missed the Severn Bridge.
Inaugurated in 1996.
Is that it there? What's that, Francisco?
Which is the old one?
Is this
which
next
is the
one?
new one?
No, it's to Western Sydney, yeah, basically. Oh, that's where.
So this bridge carries the M48, and the Prince of Wales Bridge now carries the M4.
Where you going on the M4? Is going on the M4 then?
Oh, are we going on a bridge? Oh, just go across that way. gap between England and Wales?
Yeah.
It goes down like that.